When I tell people we're growing over 100 perennial trees, shrubs, and vines, as well as a whole bunch of veggies, they assume we must have lots of acreage. But we're actually growing all of this in our food forest. That's 1,400 square feet, or 130 meters squared, which is just 0.03 acres. So today I want to share with you the pattern that we came up with that has allowed us to grow a lot of food in a small space, as well as some other tricks that can allow you to grow more food in less land. Our design is based on permaculture principles as well as some tropic designs that we've studied in Mexico. And of course, lots of trial and error. My hope is that it saves you time and inspires you to start planting, even if all you have is a small backyard or community garden plot. Now, we're located in California's Zone 9, but a lot of these ideas can be adapted with plants that thrive in your climate. But if you're in a Mediterranean climate like ours, I have a link to many of the plants that we use in the description. Now, most of us are used to seeing plants grown in rows, and so it would make sense that we would mimic this design in our gardens. However, the challenge with plants grown singly in rows is there's often lots of narrow paths, which is not the most efficient use of space. Instead, we incorporated a few keyhole paths, which we can still reach and access the plants, but it packs more than twice as many plants in the same area. We then planted our keyhole in a very specific pattern to create a regenerative, thriving ecosystem. So when you first enter the keyhole on the left, you see this shoestring acacia. I'm going to represent our nitrogen-fixing trees and shrubs with this symbol here. Then on the right, you see the beautiful Garden Delight mini nectarine. I'm going to represent our fruit trees, which are mostly dwarfs and minis, with this symbol here. It's kind of hard to see, but as you move through this keyhole, we have a strawberry tree, a Gilberto, here's an apricot tree, another shoestring acacia, which is nitrogen fixing, another fruit tree, a desert bird of paradise, which is nitrogen fixing. This is what it looks like in June. And then again, the beautiful mini nectarine. So here's what that repeating pattern of fruit tree and nitrogen fixing tree looks like. Then to keep the soil covered, we plant an edible cover crop. Things like arugula, cilantro, beans, peas, calendula, yarrow. We still have room closest to the path, and that's where we'll add our annuals like tomatoes, basil, squash, pepper, tomatoes, and in this case, poppies. It's nice to have these closest, as this is where harvesting and planting takes place regularly. We then repeat this pattern and connect keyholes with long meandering paths that follow the same pattern. In the scene in the back of the garden, we have, if you can spot them, mulberries, olives, a pineapple guava, persimmons, quince, fig, blackberries, goji berries, strawberry guavas, grapes, and almonds, and they're all just starting to wake up. We also have beans, daikon radish, sweet peas, potatoes, calendula, sunflowers and cilantro, chard, arugula, chocolate mint, and lots of aromatics. Many of these plants self-seed year after year, allowing us to forage in our own backyard. And of course, some fun things that the bees and soil love, as well as lots of nitrogen-fixing trees and shrubs. Now it's early March, so we have to wait until summer or fall for most of these to harvest. But in the meantime, a lot of these plants' leaves are highly nutritious. For example, goji berries are prized as a superfood, but their leaves are also highly nutritious, offering polyphenols, vitamins, and micronutrients. It's just important to cook them, so you can add them to stir fries or sautés. Persimmon leaves make a great tea and are known for being antioxidant, anti-diabetic, anti-obesity, anti-cancer, anti-glaucoma, anti-hypertensive, neuroprotective, anti-wrinkle, antimicrobial, and they help ward off allergies. Mulberry leaves are also highly medicinal in tea. Cilantro is really good for juicing, and all of this stuff seems to end up in our smoothies. Now, if you're limited on space, it's tempting to make your paths very narrow. However, that can cause a lot of frustration when it comes to working in your garden. It's nice to have paths that are wide enough to maneuver a wheelbarrow, even in the peak of summer when plants are at their largest. So another strategy is to have wide paths that serve multiple functions. Our paths double as compost piles, which makes composting a lot easier and a little prettier. Our paths are made of thick layers of wood chips and green waste, thus they break down and have a lot of humus, which holds about 10 times its weight in water. So our paths are also used as water storage, as we only get rain for a few months in the winter and never in the summer. Our planting beds are mounded up, and these hills or berms not only increase the surface area in which we can plant, but they also allow the deep tree roots to tap into this organic water storage during our long, hot summers. Another idea we're just beginning to explore is going vertical by adding hog panels as arches and growing vines up and over these, essentially making the paths double as gardening space overhead. I'm excited about this combination of a deciduous grape on one side and an evergreen jasmine on the other, so that in a few years this panel will always be covered, even in winter when the grape is dormant, because the jasmine stays green year-round in our climate. Another idea we're exploring is grafting. Grafting your fruit trees is a wonderful way to maximize your space by growing multiple varieties of fruit on a single tree. It's done by joining a scion, which is a fresh cutting, with another compatible tree, allowing them to grow together and function as a single plant. This is footage from the Cal Poly Scion Exchange, where we learned how to do this and got free scions from other local food growing enthusiasts. If you'd like, Hilberto and I can provide more information about grafting in a future video. So those are just some ideas I wanted to share with you. Thank you so much for watching, for subscribing, and I just have one more idea to share. GoldiGlow is not an anti-aging cream because age is a gift of another precious day. To love and be loved, to dream and to explore and experience the richness of life on planet Earth. And as we age, we gain wisdom, compassion, friendships, and memories, the true treasures that enrich our journey. So why resist your journey? Why resist aging when instead you can honor your years, care for your body, and give your skin the nourishment it needs to glow? I handcraft GoldiGlow from the calendula grown regeneratively at Goldifarms, the most magical food forest on the central coast of California. Visit goldifarms.com to discover how GoldiGlow can not only nourish and fortify your skin, but also contributes to regenerating the earth. Join us in finding love for yourself and the planet at Goldifarms.